Tonight at 5, a teenager is hit by a car as he's trying to get on the bus. Tonight we have the latest on his touch-and-go condition.
I'm tracking some much-needed rain on First Alert Doppler HD. I'll zoom in on it, show you how much we can expect this weekend. And the tropics stay active with Matthew and maybe another storm behind it.
It was an emotional day in court. Haley Cummings' father learns his fate.
And if you've been unemployed for more than 6 months, we have help to get you back in the job market. Action News at 5 starts now.
Live from CBS 47, this is Action News at 5. Coverage you can count on in high definition.
In your First Alert weather tonight, it's Friday, but it could rain on parts of the weekend parade. The First Alert weather team is tracking your weekend weather from the rip current danger to the Jags kickoff forecast. Plus, we're tracking the tropics tonight. Matthew is weakening, but there is a new development in the Caribbean. Chief Meteorologist Mike Burris is tracking it all for you in the First Alert Weather Center.
Mark, let's begin locally. We do have plenty to track in the First Alert Weather Center. First Alert Doppler HD, a few showers moving through the metro area. There's not anything over southeast Georgia at the moment, but there could be a few showers a little bit later this evening. Most of the activity in northeast Florida and also in the metro area. Light showers on the west side from about White House southwestward to Maxville. A few more just southwest of NAS Jackson. Then a cluster of pretty heavy showers here around Blunt Island and extending southward to just about the downtown area. We zoom in a little bit in there. You can see the yellows and the oranges crossing 9A. So this will produce some very heavy rain near and just to the northeast of downtown out to Blunt Island. This is slowly moving off to the northwest, west-northwest at about 5 to 10 miles per hour. So a few showers and muggy this evening for the high school football games. Light winds, temperatures that'll be in the 80s, and here's the tropics. There's Matthew headed into Central America. Behind it, there's not an actual storm developing yet, but there's the potential for one to do so. Movement of Matthew is swiftly to the west, so it has made its landfall now. It's over land, so it's going to slowly weaken, and it looks like this stays over Central America. Matthew doesn't look like it's our concern in the end. It could be another system that would be Nicole. Rain on the way, and at 5:15, your 7-day forecast.
A teenager is in the hospital tonight after he was hit by a car at his bus stop. This was the scene this morning on New Berlin and Moose Roads. Witnesses say the accident was terrifying.
I was like, oh my gosh, is he alive? Like, he was screaming.
Action News' Leslie Corsi has been following this story all day long. She joins us live on the Action Cam on the north side tonight. And Leslie, how's this young man doing?
Well, I just checked with a hospital and he is in serious condition, which is actually good news considering when he left here this morning, he was in critical condition. Now, we found out that he is a 9th grader here at First Coast High School, and he was hit by that car this morning in front of several of his classmates. Brittany Purrier and Alex Thayer were waiting for the bus on New Berlin Road when suddenly they heard the bus driver lay on the horn, a car slam on brakes, and their classmates scream.
I pretty much watched it in slow motion because, I mean, I watched the car and then I watched the kids and they started screaming and then I watched him swerve and hit them.
9th grader Richard DeRay had been hit. Witnesses say he was pinned under this gray car. The girls called 911.
It took like 6 guys to pick up the front of the car.
I was like, oh my gosh, is he alive? Like, he was screaming.
According to police, the kids started crossing the street before the bus stopped at Moose Road.
According to all the investigations so far, the bus had begun to slow and turned on the yellow lights, but had not yet stopped or turned on the red lights, or the arm had not come out yet.
The driver of the car told Action News the kids just darted out in front of him. Witnesses say the driver was speeding. However, police cannot back up that claim. The victim was rushed to the hospital, and so far the driver has not been charged with a crime. The teen witnesses say they're traumatized by what they saw, and they have this message for the victim's family.
To keep praying.
Keep praying. I've been talking to students here tonight, and that's exactly what they're doing. They are praying for Richard, and they hope he is back in class very, very soon. Reporting live in Ocean Way, Leslie Corsi, CBS 47 Action News.
Leslie, thanks. First Coast High School made counselors available to the students who saw that accident. And just into our newsroom tonight, a school bus was rear-ended in Ponte Vedra. This happened at Dolphin Avenue and A1A. The bus was turning left, the car didn't see it, and rear-ended that bus. The car was severely damaged, but the bus only had some minor damage. Nobody was hurt. The students on board were from Landrum Middle School. Well, he first made headlines in 2009 when his little girl vanished without a trace. Ronald Cummings knelt on the ground in tears, clutching a picture of his daughter, Haley Cummings. He begged for her safe return. Today, we saw something much different. Ronald handcuffed in court, and sentenced to prison on drug charges. Action News' Alyssa Trussell has this story for us new tonight.
Well, today Ronald was sentenced to 15 years in prison. Haley's mother was also in court. It was a difficult day for both sides of the family. Handcuffed and shackled, Ronald Cummings whispered "I love you" to his family while leaving the courtroom to start his prison sentence. The judge ordered him to serve 15 years for trafficking hydrocodone in an undercover drug sting. Before he was sentenced, his mother told the judge Ronald is a good person and a good father.
He has 2 children. We may not know where one of them is, but he does have 2 children who need him.
Haley's mother was also in court. Although she and Ronald are not together, she says it's also a difficult day for her.
I don't want my son to grow up without his father.
Detectives have not found Haley's body, but they believe the little girl is dead. Haley's family refuses to give up hope, even as Ronald sits behind bars.
I just want everybody to keep hoping and praying that my baby comes home. And I want answers. Somebody knows, just please say something.
And part of Ron Cummings' plea deal is that he agreed to help detectives any way he can in the case of his missing daughter. Ronald has 30 days to appeal, but his attorney tells me there are no plans right now to do that. In the studio, Alyssa Trussell, CBS 47 Action News.
The sentencing hearings for Misty Cummings are set for the first week of October. And at the center of all of this is a little girl. Police have been looking for answers to what happened to Haley Cummings now for 18 months. If you know anything that can help police, call Crime Stoppers at 1-888-277-TIPS. Covering news happening right now, police are looking for this guy, Philip Chasson. Earlier today, officers saw him speeding along Ortega Hills. Now, when they checked the tag, the car came back stolen. He lost control of the car and crashed into a fence on NAS Jack's property. That's when he took off, and police lost him in a wooded area. Anyone with information about where that guy might be now should call police, or you can call Crime Stoppers and remain anonymous. That number is 1-866-845-TIPS. He was the tough as nails gym teacher who inspired one of rock and roll's most famous bands. Leonard Skinner was laid to rest today at a ceremony in Murray Hill. And the music royalty that used his name to make a name for Jacksonville paid their respects to the well-loved character. Action News' Catherine Varnum joins me live on the Action Cam. And Catherine, Skinner's funeral was really a celebration of his life.
That's right, Mark, it was. There were so many people here. Edgewood Avenue up here was lined with a lot of cars. And while there were some tears inside the service, there were also a lot of laughs.
It was one of Leonard Skinner's favorite songs, the FSU Fight Song. Skinner was a Noles fan through and through. People even wore garnet and gold in his honor. He's probably best known for coaching young boys, but his daughter says his most important team was always at home with his wife and kids.
He was a mentor and good friend to many, many people.
His daughter shared countless stories about her dad.
And my father, I'm very proud to say, learned how to make his very own. At age 74.
But his name is most commonly referred to as the inspiration for the band, Leonard Skinner.
Dad had an interaction with some young, long-haired boys who would eventually make it big in the music business, naming their band after Dad as a mocking tribute.
He was the coach at Lee High School when the band members were there. His daughter says it was only after several years that he actually became close with the members.
He signed countless autographs, even signing a pregnant woman's belly on baseball.
But as hundreds of his friends and family say goodbye, they'll remember one thing. This Noles fan always had a big heart and a lot of fight.
And Skinner's wife told me earlier this week the one thing she wished she'd had is one more chance to say goodbye. The couple was married 54 years. We're live on the West Side tonight. I'm Catherine Varnum, CBS 47 Action News.
He will always be remembered. Skinner left behind a wife and 2 children. He also suffered from Alzheimer's. He was 77. We have new information on a murder arrest tonight. Police tell Action News this man, Colvito Bell, shot and killed rival trucker Christopher Oney because he wanted to take over his route. Police say Bell thought Oney was getting more business than he was. Both were independent truckers. The fire union building is on lockdown right now. Leaders are tallying votes to see whether local firefighters have accepted a 2% pay cut. Action News' Carl Torp is live on the Action Cam in Riverside. And Carl, we could get details on that vote in the next hour.
Yeah, there are about 1,000 votes being counted right now, and the stakes are very high. Again, they are voting on whether or not to take this 2% pay cut for a total savings of about $1.7 million. If they vote this thing down, you could see dramatic changes to JFRD because the city says that it will come in and start making these changes immediately, start cutting that $1.7 million, and the mayor's office says that that is going to mean jobs. They say about 50 firefighters could be fired or demoted, and that would actually begin tomorrow. So certainly a lot at stake right now. Again, a 2% pay cut is what firefighters are voting on. They just started counting the votes at 5 o'clock tonight, and we're told it's going to take an hour and a half, maybe a couple hours before they figure out if this tentative agreement that the head of the union reached with the city has been voted through by all firefighters. Reporting live tonight from Riverside, I'm Carl Torp, CBS 47 Action News.
All right, Carl, thanks. If the firefighters accept the pay cut, it could save 26 jobs and 2 fire trucks in the department. We, of course, will keep you posted on the voting. Well, the teasing turned to torture for a teen in Florida when he was set on fire by a group of bullies. Now, Michael Brewer is close to the end of his long road to recovery. The story of his brave fight, new at 5:30. You helped bail them out. Now, Chrysler workers are caught boozing on the job. The video is new.
And Matthew moves ashore, but there are other issues to deal with in the tropics. I'll have your first alert forecast and look ahead at what could be a pretty wet weekend at times. Your first alert forecast in a few minutes.
You can dust, sweep, and mop your way to weight loss. A few off-the-wall ways to burn calories in your health alert ahead. And there's more trouble for a megachurch pastor accused of sex abuse. A 4th man has now come forward. It's your Action News alert next.
When you see breaking news happening, call Action News at 904-564-1599 or star 47 on your cell phone.